hello and welcome to today's conversation, to today's shining the light on the community, which I'm really excited about. I truly am, because I'm having a conversation with the most beautiful woman and talking about love, love and healing states. Love it. Thank you so much, Denise, for joining us today. I'm really honored because, healing and the love states that we live in, and healing all the things about self-love and everything else, is something very dear to my heart. I think it's the foundation of life. So I'm really excited, and I just want to welcome you.
Thank you, Sophia.
Welcome you. So first of all, let me tell everyone a little bit about you. So, Denise, you support and teach women and men to feel and heal in love and truth.
Yeah.
I'm just letting that go right in, to heal and in love and truth. Feel and heal through emotional, physical and mental trauma, pain and pleasure, to living in self-love, creating and fulfilling their desires. Wow. So much, myself included, I've spent a majority of my life escaping from the pain, escaping from the trauma. We tend to create a lot of pain because we're escaping from the trauma, or trying to escape from the trauma, and avoiding the healing part of it. But then it becomes so powerful when you can go into that physical pain and the emotional pain and step into it and come out on the other side into love. So thank you. Tell us more, Denise. I'd love to know more about you. Who is Denise? What makes Denise tick? What makes Denise get up in the morning? And how did you get to where you are now?
Oh, wow, that's a huge question, isn't it? Look, I feel that I've been curious all my life, and the biggest thing I remember, 2 years of age, I got run over, and I've had a lot of turmoils in my life. I remember, the ebb and flow of moving in and out of trauma in life, and having to take that on, and what I did with it, and how it worked for me and how it didn't work for me. And I suppose the feeling as I got older, the helplessness and the hopelessness of not being able to create for myself, because I had these so many beliefs on myself that I wasn't good enough, or not good enough, I couldn't do anything. I would freeze when at school, I would freeze when they'd ask me to say something about a subject. It was like I'd go back within. I couldn't do it. And it was like, and I'd look at other people and go, well, they're not doing it. They're speaking freely. They're speaking openly. So what is it about me that keeps me shut down, keeps me locked away, and feeling as though, my worth is hung off all this stuff and I can't shift? And, we all go through life. We go to school, we get jobs. I got pregnant when I was very young, and I married the man because I was told it was the right thing to do. It wasn't the right thing to do, and it was a very physical, abusive relationship. And I woke up one day going, no one should be doing this. No one should be putting up with this. And I planned my way out. I planned to get out of it by creating a plan to catch a train, go down to my sister. And as I was leaving the house, he came on my doorstep and said, oh, you can't go anywhere, you can't have anything. And that was the first time I just said, no, this is what I'm doing. And I walked out, and I was very fortunate that the taxi was turning up as that conversation was finished. So it never erupted to anything. So my journey began from there, I would say. And it wasn't, I didn't go into, oh, it's going to be so much easier now. It wasn't. It was so much harder. I was on my own with a 6 month. Yeah, I know. I feel he was 12 months old, just under 12 months old, moving to a city that I knew nothing about. And I was extremely reckless because I had no direction, not knowing what I wanted to do, had no direction whatsoever. And just things came into my path that seemed to give me a lift and even shock me into going, oh no, we can't be doing that. That's not the way to go. So, I always took that as the universe giving me that kick to say, you get to make a choice here. So a lot of that stuff started happening. And then I got married again. I have such a beautiful family now, but, the turmoils of all my old patterns and, I seen that show up in my kids and how I treated my kids as well. So a lot of that also played into, I suppose, bringing me to the realization of myself. I get to choose. I get the choice of me, or I get the choice of the world dictating to me, because, and really coming back to loving myself. And I spent 20 years going to a church and really fell in love with God. And really allowed God into my life. And that was disruptive at times, because it's like I said before, the universe ebbs and flows to bring us that feedback on what we need to know. But yeah, God, I don't go to church anymore, but God is, he is there all the time. And he, all the time. So I'm always looking to God for everything now. So, and that's really brought me back to love of self, that we really have to unpack ourselves. Yeah, so that was, and it's been, it's not a journey that it happens overnight. It's been like I'm in my 50s now, so it's been a journey, but it's been a journey of lots of tears, lots of laughter, lots of, beautiful stuff happening, but also the other stuff as well that we don't tend to want to feel. And the things, because we feel so much pleasure, we feel beauty in life, we feel everything from everybody else, and with ourselves that we do, we feel all the great stuff, but we don't want to feel all that stuff that, makes us feel icky. But loving ourselves is really about coming back and loving ourselves fully. And on this journey, I've really learned that love is being open to love, because we think that love is not, love is a particular way, but it's actually being open to love. And truth is really receiving love, no matter what, whether it's sharp, whether it's gentle, it's receiving it in its fullness. And humility is all about feeling everything to its fullness.
Absolutely.
Feeling right through everything, yeah. So I've come from, it's just been such a journey on discovery, and I suppose it's about being curious.
Thank you so much for sharing that journey, and I'd just like to take a moment just to honor you, Denise, for sharing that journey, and for going through everything that you've just described and coming out on the other side and helping other people. It's very life is that, life, the universe brings us such challenges, but if it wasn't for those challenges, we wouldn't be the people that we are today. So thank you.
You're welcome.
For sharing all your challenges. Some of your challenges, I'm sure there's been many more, but thank you. We do have people watching us, so I just want to say hello to everyone who's watching us. Please pop your name in the comments, where you're calling in from, and if you've got any comments, or if you've got any questions for Denise, please put them in, or I will be putting all of Denise's links in the comments as soon as we finish, so please do hang around for that. So, Denise, I'd love to go more into the love states that we live in.
Yes, I'd love to share.
Tell us more about that, because a lot of people, we hear about healing and self-love, and that love is the foundation. But what about the love states?
Well, our love states are, I've brought it back to 3 love states. And, we can go on about love and love and love, and there's so many, but it's all defined by everybody, what they believe it is. And it's about the love state that we're actually born into. I see that's the one where majority of society lives in, is that how our parents taught us to love, that's our love. So it can be a negotiation if you've been brought up in a family, born into a family that negotiates love, I give, you give. It's like a transaction. Or it can be knowing love as being physical abuse. That's the love I know, because that's the love that was shown to me for the important years of my life, which is about from birth till 12. This is where we take on everything. And it can be emotional abuse. So what we're born into and what our parents already know and their behaviours is what's showing us love. So if they are needy and want you to give them all the love because they don't know how to love themselves, then you're forever growing up giving everybody else love except for yourself, because you don't know how to. And also when we go to daycare, there's a different type, we learn new love there, because it's like a transaction again. I've got to be nice. It's the only way people are going to love me. Or I can't be terrible to that person, even though I want that toy and I had it first, I still can't say, hey, that's mine to have first, because that's not being loving according to that structure there. And then we come to school, and school's the same. You've got to do well at school. We're going to really give you all the love and care when you're doing really well. But we don't give you that any other time. So you learn that love is, if I do really well, everyone's going to love me. So that's what we're born into, and that's the world, how the world structure of love works. And, and that's where a lot of stuff comes from, where kids become very confused, because you might say one day, this is the way I want to love you, but the next day you say, I want you to love me this way. So they get confused again on what love is actually all about. And we take this on and we own it for ourselves, because that's all we know.
Yeah.
And that's all we can take into the world, is what I've been taught.
Yes. Yeah.
Whether it's right or wrong.
Wrong and stuff like that. But we get to know all different ways of receiving our perceived perception, I guess, of what love is.
Absolutely. And because the only person who's been the closest to me in my life is my parents,
yes.
My family. Then we expand out as we get older and older. And as we get older, it starts to change when we get into teenage. But we still carry those fundamental love traits, because that's what I already know. And then we take them into new relationships.
Yeah.
And it just perpetuates that way. And if we don't look at it, it keeps perpetuating that way. And then we pass that on to our own children. And then they pass it on to their children.
Their children and everything
yeah.
else.
Yeah. So, and it just becomes transactional, and it's not a love that is sustainable. That's why a lot of people have a lot of confusion in their life, because they actually don't know how to love themselves.
Sure. Sorry, excuse me. So what do we do? What do we do? you talking about, we might realize that we've experienced a dysfunctional love or conditional love, as you were saying, the transactional love. I'll love you if you do this and I love you. You don't do this and I don't love you.
Absolutely.
What do we do? What are the steps that we can do to break that cycle?
It's about awareness within yourself. It's about asking your question of yourself. It's really inquiring within yourself, because in the world, when we don't inquire within ourselves, we base everything on the outside world to give us everything we need, because we don't know how to do it for ourselves. So it's like coming back home to you and inquiring within yourself on, well, is this serving me? Does this help me when I feel this way? What is that emotion? Where does that come from? Is this how I want to behave? It's about really bringing it back and being extremely responsible for yourself. Because we can lay blame everywhere. And, and there's stuff that happens to people that is horrific. But it's about taking the responsibility of the emotion that I actually feel about what's happened to me. So, it's going back and saying, I feel like I'm hitting a brick wall all the time. I feel like I'm just going through this same pattern. So where does that pattern come from? And it's like following this thread. Oh, yeah, I've seen it happened here. But really taking it back to the core of, as a child, where did that happen in my life? And it's mainly with mum or dad. Does it come from mum or does it come from dad? Because we have all the answers within us. We're just told to reach outside of us for all the answers, but we've got them. We are well able to heal our own bodies, our own minds, our own hearts, by just asking and inquiring within ourselves.
Within yourself.
Yeah, it's a real inquiry within ourselves, and asking lots of questions of ourselves and feeling what comes up. So if I get agitated, well, where does that come from? Oh, that's right. Mum used to get agitated every time I would ask a question. So I don't ask questions.
Yeah.
And really feeling that, how that made you not feeling heard, not feeling seen, feeling that what you had to say wasn't good enough.
Yes.
So, and when you feel that to the core, feel it emotionally, because you might be angry to begin with, feel the anger. There's always the grief underneath of the loss of not being able to speak up. Because it's not about the events themselves, it's about the emotion that I never had the opportunity to feel or to be able to express at the time.
Yeah.
And
it's so true, isn't it? Because, and totally agree with you. Thank you for sharing that. That it's about the emotion that I wasn't able to express. So we've suppressed it.
Yes.
And it's gone right into our DNA, our cells, and that therefore affects the rest of our lives.
Absolutely.
So we can go back and allow that emotion to be expressed and healed.
And once you express that emotion and you really feel that at the core, you see that that things within your life start to change, because I do get to speak and people do hear me. I do have great things to share. I am heard. So everything about you changes from that moment. And, that pain you once had of moving forward and your knee has got that pain, it's not there so much anymore, because I'm really stepping in to who I am. And that's what, our body feels everything. And if we don't express that, our body wears everything.
I hear you so much, because I totally agree. I've had many experiences about that our body wears stuff right back from childhood, which we won't go into here because this is about you and your journey and how and what you help other people with. So you do help others. People can see you remotely.
Yeah, absolutely. I can see them remotely, but it's we can achieve so much on screen as well.
On screen, yeah.
Yeah, energy is energy, love is love, So I always say love is a force that we all deserve to feel, that we're all worthy of feeling, and love cuts through everything.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely.
Yeah. So what are the things that you're able to help people with? What are some of the things that people come to see you about?
Yeah, exactly that. I help people. I don't start from like here today. I go, okay, you're feeling this pain, or you're going through this, or this is what's happening to me, my anxiety. Well, I like to really get to the core of things, because it's not about let's go one layer at a time. Let's go right to the core of it and really unpack it from there and really feel it. Finding the story, so I can tune in to whether it's mum's or dad's story, or it's come from mum or dad, or wherever it's come from. Might be a relative, but a lot of our wounds have come from mum and dad. So, and really finding the age, and then allowing the story to come to the surface, and then giving them the space to really feel into that and share their story. And that's the simplicity of healing.
Yeah. Sharing the stories and giving people the space to be able to share their stories.
Yeah.
Which is a wonderful thing.
Yeah, because there's no judgment, no nothing, because we're all unique. They say, we're all fairly much the same, but we're not. We're all unique. We're all individuals, and we feel everything so differently. And we're not to be put in a box.
No, unfortunately we're not, even though a lot of people try to, and a lot of people also put themselves in boxes.
Yeah.
But when we allow that healing to happen, it becomes so much more easier to be unique, to step into your power.
Yeah, and then you fall into that natural love.
Yes.
The second love is the natural love, really being so aware of yourself, what you're feeling, what other people are around you are like, how you feel about what's said or what's done, how you were triggered, to be able to see what shows up for you. If you get triggered and I get irate, so it's really digging into yourself and finding that. And what I know, I teach everybody else to do.
Right. Yep.
So when you come and work with me, I don't just send you away to keep coming back. I want it that I don't have to see you anymore, because I've given you everything and the tools to be able to heal yourself.
Yeah. And that's so much more powerful.
Yes. Well, we
so
all
much more
deserve
powerful.
to. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And tell us, Denise, what are some of the things in your life, everything that you've gone through, and I can see how much, it has helped you and it has empowered you. But what are the things that motivates you every day, to keep on going, to get out of bed and stuff like that?
It's not, I know this picture is far bigger than myself. And I know that the one person I help, or it's not even help, it's one person who they can know the tools to be able to heal themselves. Because I believe when we heal ourselves, the world around us changes. Everything else around us changes, because I'm not concentrating on the world, I'm concentrating on myself to heal, and that helps the world. Because as we know, vibration, love goes out, and everyone feels you before you're even out there. So when you're expanding in love and truth, all those are, you give everyone the opportunity around you to expand in love and truth as well and feel.
Yeah, and I can feel that now. I can feel, first of all, I can feel your energy expanding in love and truth when we just give ourselves permission to step through all the pain and into that love, into that, the essence of who we are.
Yeah. And and the love and truth, sometimes it can be quite sharp, because it gives us the opportunity to see ourselves for who we really are and what we're actually really doing, whether it's good or bad, which is so beautiful.
Yeah.
And yes, sometimes it can take us back because we only want to hear the good things. But, it's also moving through those things to be able to heal ourselves from them.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing? Amazing. Oh, excuse me. Thank you. Thank you so very, very, very much for sharing that. And for everyone who is watching, do click on the links. I have been putting all your links in the comments below. So below this video is all of Denise's links. So do click on there. And if you have any questions, just pop them in the comments. Denise, before we finish up, can I ask you, is there any questions that I could have asked? And how would have you answered?
Oh. I suppose a beautiful one is, what are we prepared to do as an individual ourselves? And for me, for the answer for that is, what do people actually need to do themselves? Is actually to be open and honest, but have truth really lead them in their life. Like I said at the beginning, love is being open to love. And truth is about receiving love. Because love is non-judgmental in every sense of what it is. There's no judgment whatsoever. So if we don't do something that's, that's not quite right, that doesn't mean that you're not loved. The beauty is if you're aware of yourself, you get to correct that. And the beautiful thing is I'd love to say, we think sin is really bad, but sin actually means I've missed the mark. I've missed the mark. So if I've missed the mark, I can go and try again. Where we so believe that sin is, if you've sinned, that's it. It's the end of my world. Well, it's not. It just means I've missed the mark. Give it another shot.
Yes.
Give it another shot.
I love that.
Yeah.
Just try again.
Give it another shot.
A shot.
Because if I keep giving it another shot, I open myself up to experience so much more. And I experience myself. I get to see myself in truth. And eventually, I don't miss the mark as much. And I get to live and thrive in love and truth in everything I do. I'm just sitting here now listening to you and just imagining the difference in your life. Oh, yeah.
From when you sense what you first shared and going through all the healing and taking back your own power, your own, your journey, and things like that. It must be such a different life now.
Oh, absolutely. I'm worthy to experience everything.
Yeah.
Whether the feedback for me or, the universe gives me that feedback, oh, not quite right, Denise. Oh, okay, I'll listen to that. I am opening to feel and see everything around me and listening to that feedback to give me what I need to move forward. I trusting in my own intuition, trusting what's coming in front of me Yeah, and so much healing in my life. And the beautiful thing as well, Sophie, is that when you heal yourself, you heal your children.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
by me healing, my unworthiness, I take that off my children as well.
Yes.
Whatever they've taken on as the unworthiness past, it's usually about 12, 14 onwards. Then they get the opportunity to work through that, which is
Yes.
made so much easier for them, because it's like that ripple effect.
Yes. Yes.
And how
Yes.
beautiful is love to do that.
I know. And we also heal the past, heal
Yes.
the hurts, the
Generational.
trauma
Yeah.
from generations previous that we've been carrying, and also, as you said, your children and their children, and slowly making this world into such a more loving place.
Yeah, giving everyone the opportunity to feel and heal. That's what makes me wake up every day. I get the opportunity to help people feel and heal, and then they do it themselves, and then they go and help somebody else do it.
Thank you.
Such a beautiful ripple effect.
Yeah. I can experience, can imagine it and experience it. It's a very similar thing to, I think, the Dalai Lama said, if all the children in the world meditate, there'd be no more violence.
Yeah.
In a generation. And I can just imagine the world that we would live in if we just started to heal.
And all it takes, and all it takes is me.
Yes.
And all it takes is you.
Yes.
And all it takes is you guys out there just to go, okay, what is love for me?
Yeah.
What does that really feel like for me? What am I aware of? What am I not aware of? How do I come back? I need to come back and look at myself, because we're not taught to. It's so selfish to look at me. So selfish to put myself first. No, it's not.
It's not.
The best gift you can give the world and everyone around you is to love you first.
Yeah.
To love you first.
Yeah, and I agree with that. It's something I learned a long time ago, because no one can love me the way that I need except me.
Yeah. And God.
And yes. And when I'm able to love myself, then I can love others unconditionally.
Absolutely. Yeah, because you see people, no matter what walks of life they come from, that's who they are.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's no judgment. It's just love. I love you for who you are, why you are, how you are.
Yeah. Oh, Denise, thank you ever so much. Truly, truly for this conversation. I've really enjoyed it. Like I said, it's something that's close to my heart, and I think close to a lot of people's hearts, because we've all had our journeys. We've all got our stories, but we've all had our experiences.
Yeah.
In whatever the universe gives us. But to go back and to what does love mean for me?
Yeah.
How can I experience that love and let go of the trauma?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's such a divine thing. And that was the last one, was divine love, is allowing God to walk with you. It's about you receiving God into your life and having a father who is non-judgmental.
Yeah.
To actually walk with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
No
Thank
worries.
you ever so much for joining us. And everyone who is watching, do click on those links, connect with Denise on Facebook, and, visit Denise's website, all the beautiful things that you provide, Denise. I'm just looking at it now. It is really, really, really amazing. So thank you.
Thank you.
All about energy and all your products. Wow.
Yeah.
I should have looked at your website before. Wow. All really amazing stuff. Thank you ever so much. Oh, I like those. Berry trees. Oh, there's a lot of things in here that I certainly do like. All right. Thank you ever so much, Denise, for joining us today. Like I said, it has been an honor. I've really loved our conversation, and I do hope that you'll come back again sometime soon so we can continue the conversation.
Yeah, I would love to. Very much so. And really appreciate you having me here today. It's just been beautiful.
No problems. Thank you ever so much.
No worries.